Good morning, everyone. Anybody that's watching, thank you for watching. I'm bringing you a very interesting story that happened um, a few days ago. We have a black man that shot an officer in the head. Um, I'm gonna go ahead and show a clip of what led up to the shooting, and then I'm gonna get into some more information. Also, please like my video and please subscribe to my channel. I also have other videos similar in nature um, on my YouTube channel. So I'm gonna go ahead and play this clip, and then I'll get into some talking points. How's it going? Hold on. Do you live here? Hold on. Yeah. One second. Hold on.
Sure. Can you sit down? I'll talk to you. How's it going? Do you live here?
Okay, now my phone goes on.
Sure. Can you sit down? I'll talk to you. How's it going? Do you live here?
What's going on?
Sit down. Sit.
Sure.
Can you sit down? I'll talk to you.
Okay. Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't do this.
Sit down.
Why are you asking me to go live here?
Do you live here? Yes or no?
What's going on, though?
Cool, Charlie 77.
No, back up.
Stop.
Okay, one second. I'm gonna do that. Play that again, just because I don't think that really got in there as clear as I wanted it to be. So let me see if I can get that in here. If I can replay that and make it a little bit clearer.
How's it going? Do you live here?
What's going on?
Sit down. Sit.
Sure.
Can you sit down? I'll talk to you.
Okay. Come on, man. Come on, man. Don't do this.
Sit down.
Why are you asking me to go live here?
Do you live here? Yes or no?
What's going on, though?
Cool, Charlie 77.
No, back up.
Stop.
Okay. Now that's the video that led up to Otho Wallace shooting this particular officer in the head. The first thing that I would like to start off with is the fact that the reason why he was approaching Otho Wallace is for quote unquote his car or his vehicle. He looked suspicious. And as we go through the history recently, now I'm not talking about back with slave patrol or any of that. I'm talking about just in our recent history, we see the term suspicious activity is what officers use a lot of times to racially profile black men and to harass them. And so we've seen this type of situation more than one time, multiple times, but in most instances, it would lead up to the brother or the black man being beaten, detained, illegally detained, or either killed. So, first thing that I noticed was wrong is suspicious activity. Someone sitting in their car in a parking lot with their door open. What's suspicious about that? Can you tell me what's suspicious about that? Can anybody give me any ideas what would be suspicious about someone sitting in their car? And I just hate to say it, but the only thing that could possibly be suspicious is the fact that he was black. I mean, what's suspicious about somebody sitting in a car? I mean, let's just be realistic here. There was nothing suspicious about someone sitting in a car. The second thing that I saw is that police, and it's just crazy how another man feels like he has the right to put his hands on you and you just have to accept it. And that was the other thing. If you notice in the video, the officer, without any crimes being committed, not in the middle of a crime, he hasn't said that Otho committed a crime. The only thing that is that the car looked suspicious. So he approaches Otho Wallace and then proceeds to grab, to physically, touch this man. And then that's something else that I don't like. The fact that if you're not a criminal or you haven't been charged with the crime or being charged with the crime, you do not have a right to physically touch someone else. Like, what gives you the right? Just imagine you're sitting in your car minding your own business, and then if they didn't have on that blue uniform, the little shiny thing, who would tolerate someone walking up to you minding your own business and then grabbing you like this and then telling you that you need to sit down? Like, why does he need to sit down, and he's not doing any criminal activity and he's not detained? So as we see, all the while it's like, hey, what's going on? What's the problem? What's the problem? The officer proceeds to physically accost him and then was trying to turn him around and put him in handcuffs. And we see this all the time. Handcuffs are for people who's committed crimes or in the midst of committing a crime. So needless to say, it escalated to the point to where Otha Wallace shot the officer in the head. And we just see the situation go down too many times. So the code word suspicious activity pretty much just means messing with black people, effing with black people, brown people. And then the only thing I can think of is that this brother probably was scared. I actually want to say that it was, for the lack of a better term, self-defense, because we see so many times how these situations fall out. And he might have been the one dead, or he might have been the one shot, because clearly the motives of this officer was not in line with legality. Like, you in this country is supposed to be the citizens. Public servants can't just approach citizens and then just start questioning, interrogating them. You see, he's asking him what his name is, what is he doing there. I mean, that's none of your business. He is not committing a crime. You're not catching him in the midst of a crime. Why does he have to tell you who he is? Why does he have to tell you what he's doing there? And I really hate to say this, but because anytime there's a war, there's a situation going on, there's always going to be casualties. There's going to be people that are going to set the standard, just like back in civil rights movement and other movements that we've seen. There's always violence and there's always casualties of war. And I hate to see that this brother is going to be locked up for this or charged with this. But like I said, there's always going to be casualties in war. But I hate to say it, but this is the type of thing that needs to start happening. And I'm not saying to all officers or to the police or that I hate the police or anything like that, but the ones that are using their power and authority in a way that it was not created, then they need to be held accountable. Clearly, these type of officers that we see doing these sorts of things are the ones that are the problems, that are the issues. The ones that will approach you while you're minding your own business and think that they have the right to detain you and to interrogate you on the spot. And then if you don't comply with that interrogation or that intimidation, then they want to handcuff you, they want to beat you. And a lot of times we see in a lot of different cases, we end up killed or they end up murdered, killed, dead. So I think that we need more of this. We need more people that, because clearly the law isn't the law. We don't have a law enforcement. And it's funny that someone called him in a comment, called him a lawman. Had he been a lawman, he would not have a bullet in his head right now. I mean, I hope the officer, but had he been a lawman, he would not have that bullet in his head, because for one, you wouldn't have been approaching this gentleman asking him what is he doing there, what is his name. That was illegal. You can't walk up to citizens and just start interrogating them. Had he followed his job properly and did as a public servant was supposed to do, he would not have that bullet in his head right now. But anyway, this happened in Daytona. They ended up catching him here in Georgia. They put $100,000 bond out for anybody who could give any information. And I hate to say this, and I could be right or I could be wrong about this, but most likely somebody within our own community that sold him out for that money. And that's something else that's a problem. And they use that money to get us and to like separate us. You know what I mean? Like putting a bond out on him. But like I said, when we get to the point to where when they're doing those silly things like that, these prejudice officers, they're trying to attack us and detain us against our will, harass us. When they start getting a bullet in their head or a shot at, then they'll get the point. And I mean, I hate to say that, but that's where we are as of this moment. That's pretty much where we are, and it's scary and it's sad, but that pretty much is where we are. We're to the point to where we have to defend ourselves, and we have to hold violators of the law in account. And that's why I said in other videos, it's to the point now to where we are the law enforcement. We have to enforce the law because they're not enforcing the law. That was completely illegal for him to put his hands on him. That was completely illegal for him to walk up to his car and start asking him his name and what are you doing there? Like, this isn't back in the slave patrol days where slaves had to be back at home at a certain time, and if you're out, you need to explain to the slave patrol what you're doing and what your business is out. But that's still the exact same mentality that the police department has. It's the same as back when they had slave patrol. And if you think about it, there has been no type of, for lack of a word, I want to use the correct word that everybody else used, but for the lack of a better term, I'll say a remake of what the police system was set up to do. And the originality of the police, which is called Slave Patrol, you can Google it and look into it more, which is the history of the police, resembles exactly what they do now. And so since there hasn't been a remake or a revolution within the police force or the police and the ways of police, they're still carrying out the exact same functions they did when they were originally set up for Slave Patrol. But this brother's name is Othal, Othal Wallace, Wallace, and right now he's locked up here in Georgia, in DeKalb County. If anybody wants to do a GoFundMe or send this brother some commissary or whatever, that's his information. So thank you very much for watching. Please like and subscribe. And as I said, I have other videos similar to this on my page. Please check them out. Thank you very much.